Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by. My name is Stone Rain Productions, but feel free to call me SRP if you like. Today I wanted to try out a Luke pilot deck. There's been a bunch of talk about Syndicaz and the new Luke and with pilots in general, and I figured I'd just give this a shot. So I put together a list. I only tried out a game or two, but it's pretty aggressive, and I liked how it felt, even with the data vault. So let's just jump in and take a look at this and see what we get. Luke's a cool leader. I like his ability. It's got an action, exhaust. If you attacked with a fighter this unit, if you attacked with a fighter unit this phase, deal 1 damage to a unit. So you get to ping something if you attack with a fighter. We've got a lot of fighters in here, so it's definitely very good. And then it flips on 6, so it works great with Synta as well too. It's a +4/+5 as an upgrade as a pilot, and it's a 5/6 on the ground. Very, very powerful leader. We're pairing it with Data Vault, which is, we have to play 10 extra cards, but I don't really think that's a huge upset or downside, so we're going to give it a try, and we're going to keep track of the fighters as we go as well here too. I'm running 2 copies of BB-8 just for the untap or the readying potential with a resistance unit. We do have quite a few, I wouldn't say quite a few, but we've got enough resistance units that we can consider running this. And we really want to just think about this as playing it for 3. 1 is the pilot and then 2 to ready the unit. It's just a little bit of combo potential. The Crackshot V-Wing is a 2/2 that when played, if we control no other fighter units, deal 1 damage to this unit. It's a 2/2 for 1 in this deck 90% of the time. This is our first set of fighter as well too. We do want to have a pretty good mass of pilots in here, so they're ground units technically, but they're all pilots. Nien Nunb, it gets +1/+0 for each other friendly pilot. Same thing if it's a pilot, and it gives +1/+2 for a 1 cost as a pilot. It's pretty great. Definitely like this one a lot. I don't think it saw a ton of play, but I think the power of command is on the rise. We've got 3 copies of R2-D2. The appeal here is that we get to play a 0 cost upgrade from our hand, essentially, as this is a pilot, and will let us do an extra pilot later on. So there's really no big downside to this. The only negative that you can really think of is that this is going to be card disadvantage, because we're going to be going down a card from our hand to get this into play. +1/+1 for free. Depends on how you want to look at it. Now the only non-unit other than these pilots that I have in here is Heroic Sacrifice. It's a 3 of, and it's just a way to finish the game off, honestly. The +2/+0 attack, we get to defeat the unit when it attacks, and then we draw a card. That's Heroic Sacrifice. 1 cost, I figured it's a good way to finish the game up. On to Anakin's Interceptor. This is probably my favorite fighter, just because if our base has 15 or more damage, it gets +2/+0. So it's good later game. It's a fighter, it's a 2 cost, 2/3. Nothing crazy, but it gets good later in the game. We've got 3 copies of Black 1, another 2 cost, 2/3, also another fighter. This unit gets, while it's upgraded, it gets +1/+0. And on attack, if we control Poe Dameron, you may deal 1 damage to a unit. I wanted to put the Poe pilot in here, but I just didn't find room for it. There was just too many units that I wanted to put in, so no Poe, but that's okay. Our second to last pilot is Frisk. It's a 2 cost, 3/2 on the ground, but if we pilot it, it's 2 cost. And when played as an upgrade, you can defeat an upgrade that costs 2 or less. It's just a good pilot. We're trying to optimize that with R2 and get additional pilots onto things. We've also got Green Squadron A-Wing, another fighter. 2 cost, 1/3 from set 1 with raid 2, another classic. I believe our final pilot here is the Luke Skywalker from JTL. 2 cost, 3/2. We can have a pilot for 3. And the cool thing is, if the unit that this is piloting, dies, you get to move this to the ground exhausted, so we get to get a free unit on the ground, worst case scenario. We've got 3 copies of Phoenix Squadron A-Wing, another 2 cost. You notice in the theme here, I'm very low to the ground. It's a fighter, 3-2 vanilla stats. It's just good. Just a good solid 2-drop. We've got plenty of 2-drops, so we'll be able to get something on the first turn without a problem. Then we move on to our blue leader, which is a 3 cost, but we can pay 2 to move it to the ground arena. Note that this has ambush, so we can either put the counters on first or wait for it to move to the ground and then put the counters on, but we're going to either get a 3-3 with ambush or a 5-5 with ambush. This is pretty great. Disabling Fang Fighter, 3 cost, but it's 3-2, another fighter, and it just defeats an upgrade when you play it. Nothing crazy, it's just a good solid card. One of our few non-fighters is this copy of the Millennium Falcon, 3 cost, 3-4. You may play or deploy 1 additional pilot on this unit, and this unit gets +1/+0 for each pilot on it. That's really kind of what we're going for with this, is we just want to max this out as much as we can, ideally. R2 is also good, so we can get multiple pilots on there, but that's kind of one of the things that we're leading up to with our pilots. Red 5 is another classic, especially with Luke. 3 cost, yet another fighter. 3-4 on attack, we may deal 2 damage to a damaged unit. Just a good solid card, especially for the rate, and I love the on attack damage here. Red 3, this is going to hit almost everything in our deck. 3 cost, 2-3 with raid 1, and each other friendly heroism unit gains raid 1. Just a classic from set 1. Great for what we're doing. Speaking of great for what we're doing, Sabine's Masterpiece, another great one. 3 cost, 3-3 with the 4 different on attack triggers. This is also a fighter, so we've got that. The 2 that we're going to focus on are going to be the command, which is giving an experience token to a unit, or the aggression to deal 1 damage to a unit or base. Both are perfect for what we're looking for, especially with Luke. Really enjoy this unit in here quite a bit. We've got 2 copies of Bright Hope. Just the way to get a Sentinel into space. We can also return a unit if we want to our hand and draw a card. Kind of depends on what's going on the board. Sometimes that's useful. We've got 3 copies of Clone Combat Squadron. This is kind of a finisher, but it's also a fighter, so it fits the theme pretty well. And I figured we'd give it a shot in here. I did have it come up in one of the games that I was playing, and it was huge. It's just a good threat, especially if we can get Luke onto it and then Cinta deploy, but we're jumping the gun there. Anyway, 4 cost, 3-3, and this unit gets +1/+1 for each other friendly space unit. It's just a good, huge, massive ship at the end of the game, so one other way to finish the game. As we start to get towards the end here, our penultimate ship is 2 Adelphia Patrol Wings, another fighter, 5 cost, 4/6. When played, you may attack with unit. If you have the initiative, it gets +2/+0 for this phase. It's just another way to get a little extra damage. Also running 2 copies of Kit Fisto's Ether Sprite in here. 5 cost, 4/5 with Saboteur. Saboteur did come up in the game that I played with it. When played, you may defeat any number of upgrades on a unit. It does come in a little bit handy. There are some crazy decks with emergency powers, for example. This gets rid of all those experience tokens. And lastly, the reason why I wanted to build Luke in the first place is the Cinta Kaz, because when Luke deploys, we can plot her from the resource row, let Luke attack immediately. So we're deploying Luke, we're deploying Cinta, and we're attacking with Luke. We're getting 3 actions for her 6 cost deploy, and basically it's a 5/5 left over afterwards. And it's a very aggressive deck, for sure. I really enjoyed this. I'm going to be playing some more games with it later, and I hope that you give it a shot, because it's definitely a nice alternative. The Cinta is fantastic with Luke. It's just as good as advertised, so definitely recommend giving it a try. before we step out the door, just want to say thanks for the support, and if you could please like and subscribe the video. Definitely helps me out a lot. Still pretty new content creator, and it would help me quite a bit if you would. Other than that, that is the deck. Just wanted to say thanks again for stopping by, and again, thanks for all the support you guys have shown. Very much appreciate it. May the force be with you guys. Hope you have a great night. Be well. Take care.